All right, everybody, good afternoon. So we're back here at the Rocco Lab, and we're going to be doing our first experiment on our fancy cup versus regular cup phenomena. So this cup right here, this is going to be our fancy cup. What makes it fancy, it has a special top to it, and it also has 2 layers. This is going to be our regular cup. Just a normal cup that you'd get like at McDonald's, just a clear plastic cup. We're going to have 2 Celsius thermometers. So we have the one up here, and we have one here. And so the way we're going to do this is we are going to keep track of how the temperature changes over time. So we're going to take the temperature right at the beginning of our experiment. So I'm going to move the camera towards it, and we'll talk about what it is. So here's our fancy cup temperature. Right now it's at about, there it's in focus, we've got about 2 degrees Celsius. So you can see right here, that red line is, that's about 2 degrees Celsius. That's our fancy cup. This is before we start the experiment. And our regular cup is actually at about 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, so you can see the regular cup already started out warmer. Before I turn the camera on, these were sitting for about maybe 2 minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is you should record that data point in your data table. In Schoology, if you download the document, you're going to see a data table. So for our starting temperatures for the fancy cup, put 2 degrees Celsius. And for our regular cup, you're going to put 4 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to stop the video, and I come back on in about 5 minutes, and we'll check the temperature again. All right, we are back. So it's been 10 minutes since I last talked to all of you. We're going to check the current temperature of the fancy cup first. Let's see. Zoom in here. So it looks like it is about 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it did go up a little bit. It's at 4 degrees Celsius. And here is the temperature of our regular cup. And it looks like it's at about 5 degrees Celsius. Okay, so our fancy cup was at 4 degrees Celsius. And our regular cup was at 5 degrees Celsius. So go ahead and mark that on your data table. Should be the second column over. Record the temperature for the fancy cup and the regular cup. We'll be back in another 10 minutes. All right, it's been 10 minutes since I last checked the temperature. We're going to check it again. We're going to start with the fancy cup, and our current temperature looks to be, let's see, you know, it looks like it's about almost, still about 4 degrees Celsius. It's working its way up a little bit. We're still going to call it 4 degrees Celsius. That's for the fancy cup. For the regular cup, looks like it's still at about 5 degrees Celsius. Starting to go up just a little bit, but we're still going to say, so the regular cup's at 5 degrees Celsius, and the fancy cup is at 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, so go ahead and put that in on your data table. We're going to check back in with you in another 10 minutes, and we'll see if these temperatures change or continue to stay the same. All right, we're back again here to check the temperature. It's been 30 minutes, so find the 30 minutes column on your data table. We're going to check the temperature of the fancy cup first. And looks like it has actually gone up a little bit. So the fancy cup is at 5 degrees Celsius now. Okay. And the regular cup is at, always want to read it at eye level, at about 6 degrees Celsius. Okay. So again, that's the data for 30 minutes. We're going to check back in here again in another 10 minutes and keep collecting some data. So make sure you record that data in your data table that you download in Notability. We'll be back again soon. All right, we're back again here, and we're going to get some data for 40 minutes. So find the 40-minute column on your data table, and let's check the temperature. So for our fancy cup, looks like we have 6 degrees Celsius. Okay. And for our regular cup, wow, it went up quite a bit. So we've got, looks like 7 degrees Celsius. Okay. So the fancy cup was 6 degrees Celsius. And the regular cup was 7 degrees Celsius. So go ahead and mark that data on your data table. We're going to check back in one last time in about 10 minutes, and we'll get our last data point. All right, we've reached our last data point. We're at 50 minutes. We're going to check the temperature one last time here. All right, so it looks like the fancy cup is still at 6 degrees Celsius, and the regular cup is at, looks like about 8 degrees Celsius. Okay, so our regular cup is 8 degrees Celsius, and our fancy cup is at 6 degrees Celsius. So that's our last data point, so you're going to want to record all those data points. On the very last column of the data table, you have to figure out the difference. How much did the temperature go up for each one? So look at the initial temperature and then take the last data point and subtract the two. And that's how you can find the difference between the temperatures. After you got your data table filled out, now you want to start to look at your data table and see, what kinds of trends and patterns do you see? Do you see the temperature going up? Do you see the temperature going down? Do you see it just kind of staying the same? We're going to be turning this data table into a graph, so it's really important that you copy the data table down correctly. We will see you in the next lesson. Have a good day.